What is going on, friends? Sean Don coming back with technical analysis 3 of 3 this morning. Here we have Dean Rusbatch. He is one of the newest coaching clients for good old Grip and Rip Athletic Company. He is a hammer thrower and shot putter from New Zealand, which is pretty cool. Like, if you're an international athlete and need some help from your boy, hit me up. I'd love to help you guys out. So, yeah, check out www.gripandrip.co if you're interested in some help. Online coaching, technical stuff, lifting programming, throws programming, whatever you need, I got you. All right, so go check it out, www.gripandrip.co. My brain is a little bit jumbled after doing the third technical analysis this morning. I shouldn't even say brain. It's my mouth. My mouth is just feeling like jello. So enough rambling. Let's get into it. I got two videos here. Got some a shot vid and a hammer vid. So we're going to start with hammer because, of course, that is the forte around these parts. And then we're also going to take a look at shot, which also, believe it or not, used to be my forte before the hammer. So, yeah, I don't just do hammer. I just prefer to do hammer because I love it more and it's simpler to me. You know, that's just my opinion. But, yeah, pretty decent patience. And I think it's going to be similar stuff between shot and hammer. Patience is good. Connection looks pretty good. It just looks like posture isn't the best. So starting out the lines here, stable feet. Hips are flowing pretty well, opening up to the shoulders opening the shoulders up to the right pretty well. Hips are flowing well, coming through. Patience. Shifting over to the right when the ball goes to the left. Hips are flowing. Hands catching the hammer back. Nice. Easy. Love it. Coming through on entry. And I think this is the big thing here is hips shift back, chest comes down. All right, I think it's going to be a similar thing in shot because I already took a look at that video as well. But patience is good. Left side looks like it holds pretty well. This angle isn't exactly ideal. Filming from the zero, the back of the circle is a little bit better. But left side holds pretty well. Right side's working pretty well. But you see this left foot opens a little bit early and this right foot gets left behind. So focusing on connection and most importantly connecting the hips. You can also see the hands get a little bit high. This is a similar thing I just told my last online athlete in his technical analysis was staying on top of the ball, keeping the shoulders down, keeping the head up, keeping, postured up, tall through the head. Think about reaching up with the crown of the head, keeping the shoulders down. But that being said, hips are underneath you, same plane between the hips and shoulders, which is great. But then the chest is just down here. Hips are back and chest is down. And you do enough to fight out of it, but it's not ideal. Ideally, the hips would be forwards and the shoulders would be behind the hips at the very least. So at the very least, you'd want an upright torso, shoulders stacked over hips. Ideally, you'd want your shoulders a little bit back behind the hips, which is like the pendulum idea, like working backwards, leaning backwards. Some people think sit back. I think lean back. Lean back is probably the better cue there because sit back, you can have your hips back away, but your chest is still forward. So keep that chest up, keep those hips under, and lean backwards. Patience is pretty good. You could maybe dorsiflex this left toe a little bit more. But then same thing, stay on top of the ball. Your shoulders shrug up. They're nice and loose and relaxed, but this up and down movement probably isn't the best. You catch, and then you're centered over this right foot, but the hips could be underneath you a little bit more. Like I said, this chest could just be back over the hips. Torso back over the hips. Coming through on, not entry, but 3-0. Left side looks pretty stable. Right side could turn a little bit better, but then same thing. Hands looks like they're just lifting up a little bit. You can see the hammer really get up, extended through this torso angle. It's greater than 90 degrees. You really don't want it greater than 90 degrees. Hips up into the throw more. Stay on top of the ball. You catch. Just barely keeping that left foot on the ground. And you over rotate a little bit. And then this right leg gets stagnant because there's so much weight on it, it's hard to turn. And this left side's doing all the pulling because that's the only way you can really keep up with the hammer when you kind of catch over rotate like that. So, yeah, so that's hammer for you, Dean. Sturdy finish though, come through pretty well. So yeah, basically, better posture. Stay on top of the ball, reduces turbulence in the shoulders, and keep your hips under you a little bit more. Chest up. Don't let that chest drop down. That's the biggest thing. Otherwise, your patience is pretty good. Your feet, all that stuff will come along, I think, as you fix the other stuff. but getting the hips underneath you, not letting the ball rise up too much. That's kind of the big thing here. So let's move on to shot put. Also need to move this down a little bit. Let's see if that works. Boom. Alrighty, on to shot put. Side view. I enjoy a good side view shot put. Let's take a look. Nice windy New Zealand day. Yeah, a little rushed out of the back, and then chest is down. That's kind of the big thing, just like in shot, or just like in hammer. Sorry. So wind up, level shoulders, level hips, wind up over that right leg. You do kind of have a New Zealand kind of start. Reminds me of Jack O'Gill, however you say it. And then you can see, like, right from the start, this left shoulder goes down, the hand goes down, the head goes down, chest goes down, hips. Yeah, you see this. Really, it's just the upper body that's turning in and down. It's not the hips, it's not the legs, it's not the feet. Just kind of burying that chest, burying the shot, throwing it down. So, like, it's this artificial, perhaps, idea of getting over this left side. Of course, if there was a back view, it'd be easier to see. But, like, it looks like you're trying to get over the left, but instead of getting the hips over the left, you're just getting the upper body over the left. And then you end up falling into the middle. As you can see, steep kind of chest angle. You're coming down through the middle. Hips are not underneath you. Ideally, same kind of thing in hammer. Shoulders over hips, hips under shoulders. Hips would be a little bit more forwards here. You get a little bit more hip extension. You'd be pushing off this left leg a little bit more, kind of like a sprint, where you're not really getting that triple extension. And hips underneath you, hips leading to the middle. And then because your chest down through the middle, you kind of have this steep shoulder level, I suppose, plane. And you're a little bit, I wouldn't say laid off the left, but this left foot looks like it comes wide. All right, you could be a little bit tighter with the feet as it comes through the middle. You see you're really reaching with that left leg, which is, you got to stay a little bit tighter with the knees. So right leg comes to the middle. Think about wrapping this left leg low, a little bit lower to the ground. It's not even lower to the ground, but like tighter, knees tighter, left foot tighter. Think about putting this left foot down. Center of the ring, maybe a little bit down this left sector line. But I think all this would change if you just change your posture. If your hips are underneath you, if your chest was up, if you had more level shoulders, level hips, and you're at a flatter throw. I say that in quotations, meaning like kind of like level plane instead of tilting, turning all over the place. That would help get this left foot down a little bit faster, get the left foot down a little bit faster. You can work the hips more, turn the hips, left hip back, right hip forwards, rotate. Whereas you can see, once again, same thing here. It's like you almost have a glide finish with this right foot. It's extending and pushing, but it's not ideal because it's very linear. It's almost too linear, where there needs to be kind of balance between rotation and linearity between the throw, just like in the hammer. Even then, like I said, this left foot just comes down a little late. You're already open. By the time it comes down, you're not very wrapped. Could have a stronger left side block. And then, like, the angle of the shot is off once again. You're jumping, pushing up. This left hip is really extending backwards. This right leg doesn't really, this right hip doesn't really get into it. And you kind of have this pitch forward chest on the finish instead of a strong kind of like, I hate the term reverse C, but that's kind of the common vernacular where like your thoracic spine extension, your hips aren't extended forwards. Yeah, so big things to work on is in both events is just posture. Hips under a little bit more, chest up a little bit more, level shoulders. And then if I saw a back view, I'd say probably use your right leg to shift over this left side a little bit more. Like I said, your left side, your upper body's getting over the left side, but your hips are not. So, yeah. Hips under, chest up. Good posture is always good whenever you're doing anything athletic, whether it's lifting, jumping, running. Good posture is kind of key. So, that's it, Dean. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to help. If you have any questions, let me know, please. If anybody else out there would like technical analysis, if you'd like programming, throws, lifting, if you like technical analysis, throws, coaching, whatever you need, I'm feeling quite redundant at this point. go to www.gripandrip.co and sign up. Shoot me an email at sean@gripandrip.co if you have questions. DM me on Instagram. Tweet at me. Hit me up on Reddit. I don't know, dude. Whatever you want. All right. Thanks for watching. Much love. Sean Don signing off.